He was yeah. It was Gianni on the motherfucking, you know how we rocking. I'm rocking out his icy swear got cold. So cold. Yeah. This shit got cold, right? Hey, I'm rocking out his icy, you know it got cold. Second, I turn blow. I'm stacking all the block the neck and fold. I rock for a chain, I do it like Steve. My bitch trapping, yeah, she stay in that mode. I run up in this spot, you know it's a go. That nigga station, but he think I don't know. I'm swooping on my stage, you know I got bold. I'm fucking on that bitch, you know he got bad dough. Shot him in the face and now he John Doe. My diamonds wire fire, I got him on roll. That bitch on go, you know she fucking the bro. I got the shoes running for me, they front. While I'm switching on my face, blood my soul. Just put him on the shirt, got 10 to a logo. Yeah. Ballin' hard, I might go pro. Just sliding for the patch, you know I just space. When I go to Mexico and count through peso. I'm with the verses, know we sliding through Dago. My choppers haven't been in singing like J-Lo. Counting through the 50, you know I'm in clay. Go strats on me, long Roger Bow. I'm shipping in the patch, you know I get low. That 5 on me, cause you know it get cold. Seen street niggas turning this shit an outpost. Trying to run up on me, know it's a no. She loving on me, she ain't fucking with bozos. I'm on your block, how the fuck you a no-show? I got a bad bitch, you know she from the end. She asking no questions, trying to get some info. Try to ride me, I can't go. I'm rocking out inside, you know I got cold. It's summertime, feeling make shit snow. 9:37 second, now I turn blow. I'm stacking all this block that now can't fold. I rock for a chain, I do it like Steve. My bitch trapping, yeah, she stay in that mode. I run up in this spot, you know it's a go. That nigga station, but he think I don't know. I'm swooping on my stage, you know I got pole. I'm fucking on that bitch, you know he got bad. Just shot him in the face and now he John Doe. My diamonds wire fire, I got him on roll. That bitch on go, you know she fucking the bro. I got the shoes riding for me, they front row. Switching on my face, blood my soul. Just put him on the shirt, got 10 to a logo. Some people might say you was turning. He was slime. Yeah. It was Gianni on the motherfucking, you know how we rocking. I'm rocking out his ice and swear got cold. So cold. Yeah. This shit got cold, right? Hey. I'm rocking out his ice, you know it got cold. It's summertime, feeling make shit snow. 9:37 second, now I turn blow. I'm stacking all this block that now can't fold. I rock for a chain, I do it like Steve. My bitch trapping, yeah, she stay in that mode. I run up in the you know it's a go. That nigga station, but he think I don't know. I'm swooping on my stage, you know I got blow. I'm fucking on that bitch, you know he got bad. Just shot him in the face and now he John Doe. My diamonds wire fire, I got him on roll. That bitch on go, you know she fucking the bro. I got the shoes riding for me, they front. While I'm switching up my face, blood my soul. Just put him on the shirt, got 10 to a logo. Yeah, ballin' hard, I might go pro. Just sliding for the patch, you know I just space. When I go to Mexico, I count through peso. I'm with the verses, know we sliding through Dago. My choppers haven't been in singing like J-Lo. Counting through the 50, you know I'm in clay. Go strats on me, long Roger Bow. I'm shipping in the patch, you know I get low. That 5 on me, cause you know it get cold. Seen street niggas turning this shit an outpost. Trying to run up on me, know it's a no. She loving on me, she ain't fucking with bozos. I'm on your block, how the fuck you a no-show? I got a bad bitch, you know she from the end. She asking no questions, trying to get some info. Trying to ride me, I can't go. I'm rocking out inside, you know it got cold. It's summertime, feeling make shit snow. 9:37 second, now I turn blow. I'm stacking all this block that now can't fold. I rock for a chain, I do it like Steve. My bitch trapping, yeah, she staying there. Some people might say you was turning. He was fine. Yeah. It was Gianni on his motherfucker. Power off. I'm rocking out his ice and swear I got cold. So cold. Yeah. This shit got cold, man. Hey. I'm rocking out his ice and know it got cold. It's summertime, feeling make shit snow.
Man, I remember playing that in the trenches, man. That song was shit, bro. That song was telling me shit in the trenches. Talking about some shit. That's why I like that. So you're like, why is he playing that music, man? Not everybody play that music got bad thoughts of hurting the innocent. I don't. I use that music to take down take down the wicked, because you gotta have a certain type of mindset to combat wicked people. You can't really have no mercy for them on that spiritual realm. So yeah, you gotta sometimes play that type of music to get you in that mode. Yes, you do, because you could be around a whole bunch of killers. You better not be playing no soft ass music when you're around a whole bunch of killers. You better tighten up and You know what I'm saying? Be alert around them niggas. You feel me? You gotta be in that certain type of mode being around murderers. But yeah, man, you see the title of the video. Dude, some fuck I gotta wash my mouth because they say I got a potty mouth. I just people are reporting my channel that I cuss like my ass off. So I understand, so I can't really cuss like that. Because they're blocking my reach. So just I really don't give a hoot toot, but you know, it is what it is, right? I know people be cussing their butt off, but for some reason they won't let me cuss. It is what it is. But man, you really didn't have a way out if you leave it up to these people, bro. I'm talking about these people systematically. These people systematically broke your shit down, bro. Yeah, they broke your shit down, dude. You had towns of people, government. They systematically took everything from you just to see if you was gonna fold or not. But really, bro, they were really doing you a favor if you think about it. Because in order to make something new, you gotta literally take all the old parts off and form something new. You really can't get something new out of old pieces. So this was all a part of the plan. But I'm just gonna keep it a stack, bro. They left you for dead, man. They left us for dead, bro. There was no other way on this physical plane to get where you at now. There was no doorway you could have went in. You had to do it from a whole nother dimension. And that's what people can't understand. It's like, where you went to, you had to go to another place to get there, bro. You couldn't get it. You couldn't get it throughout here, bro, because this place was heavily compromised by the enemy. They went on to your people, they went to your friends, they went to your jobs, you know, they in your phone, you know what I mean? They everywhere around you, bro. They went to the strangers, so you had to find a way up out of there. You had to find a way out of there, bro, and you had to alchemize it, and then you had to find another way, so to where you not getting no superficial. You're not getting no superficial door. Like you're not getting no door from the enemy is what I want to say. You're not getting nothing that is faulty. You getting it off a strong foundation, but it took for you to alchemize stuff, bro. Definitely wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy because some people need results to keep going. Some people need to see that light at the end of the tunnel. See, all you see was darkness for so long, but you knew that wasn't your end all be all. That's why they say you alchemize it. That's why we say you alchemize because bro, you became that light in that darkness. You became the solution out of the problem. Because all you had to do was alchemize the situation, and the situation would end up being in your favor. It would turn into your favor. But if you left it alone and just seen it for what it was, destruction. Deliberate, calculated, systematic destruction to leave you hopeless and to leave you crawling back to the system that went against you and that was draining you. So this was all in a plot for you to become a servant to the system again because they need your energy. You got people that need you more than you need them, and they wanted you to slave for them. They wanted you to become a servant. They wanted you to beg, even whether that's for your life or for beg for validation. But you just said, man, I'll sit in the pocket. Just like my man said, I'll just stay in the pocket and figure this stuff out on my own. And that was the best decision you did because you found out how to alchemize it all. You found out the juice of it. You found out the meat and potatoes. When originally there was nothing there for you to be happy about in their eyes. There was nothing there to be peaceful. They think you're just going to be all chaotic because what they do. No, that's y'all. That's y'all that's trying to play God in everybody's life. And when people don't respond or react how you want, you flip out and you do more. See, when they seen you out here, bro, just living your life, they turn the heat up even more. When people see you not being bothered by all the work that they're putting behind the closed door to try to destroy you, bro, they get even more pissed off. They get even more agitated. They get even more angry. Yeah, they can try to hide it, but they can't hide it. Energy tells you everything. So just by you being in your own energy is freaking these people off. It's freaking them off, bro. No diddy. Because they spent a lot of time and money to try to make it look a certain type of way. But it's really not that. I thought that was Doo-Wop King. What's up with you, brother? Hit that like button for me. I thought that was Doo-Wop King in this mug. I'm like, oh shoot, Doo-Wop King? Let's do some music, Doo-Wop King. Yeah, that. But yeah, bro, that's why it is, and that's not to hide who you are and how you feel, but that's just the name of the game. People going to really feel bothered that you're not bothered by all the work that they put to make you be destroyed, bro, because you alchemize it like, hey, man, what you made you made lemonade out of lemons. Yeah. You got lemons and you made lemonade. You got lime and you still made lemonade. Like, how does this taste like lemonade? And we gave this dude nothing. Like, how did this dude take this SHIT and he made an Adobe house with it? Like, how did he do that? Because we make everything in our best benefit, bro. Because when you see that, oh man, they're not giving me nothing. They're not giving me nothing, so I gotta be that something and that nothing. You transmuted it all, bro. And now you're even better, but you even better when you got started because you learned and your energy's at a point to where it wasn't gonna be if you were just living that mundane life. Like sometimes the divine is behind everything. And even if the enemy, you know, made it to destroy you, the divine will make it to where it builds you up. It builds your resilience up. It shows you who you are. It shows you how you're built internally. It shows you how to alchemize the situation that was meant to destroy everything in your life, but you found out how to say it can build everything in your life. This alchemy at its finest, and that's what bothers them. They don't really understand that. It's like making something out of nothing, where they left you with nothing. They took everything from you. They made sure all your connections were burned. They made sure your love was all tainted. They made sure, your job, whatever. They made you, really couldn't find a way out on this outside because they try to break you, bro. They really did. They really try to break us. But it's like, man, you can't break me, man. Every day I'm happy. Every day. I mean, come on, man. It ain't the winter time no more. So, hey, I'm cool, bro. I don't like the winter, bro. God dang, winter was tough. I give them that. But even in that winter, boy, you still couldn't break me. Even in that winter time, they, like, no, you ain't gonna break me, bro. I'm just gonna sit in the pocket. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't run off and get no help. I didn't get in the matrix because things were unpleasant. I stayed right in the pocket. I stayed right in the pocket, seeing what you got next. Like, yeah, that's what freaked them out. Cause you didn't run. You sat right there and you like, bro, if you gonna attack me, bro, come at me, man. If you wanna shoot me, man. I'm not finna run and be scared of you, you mother truckers. I'm not gonna be scared of you, mother truckers. I didn't cuss you two. You think I'm gonna be scared of you guys? No, I'm not scared of nothing. Yeah, man. I'm like, you in the pocket with them, boy. You in the pocket. It's messing them up. Like, that's how you know these people aren't really real like that, bro. Like, you scared because somebody not showing no fear, bro. You the scared ones. Because they did so much to make you scared. They did so much to make you just want to fall and break. But I'm like, that's not who we are, bro. Big Mama ain't built us like that, bro. Big Mama ain't built us to be no punk. She ain't built us to be no punk. And it's messing with their head, man. It's messing with their head. That you were able to alchemize the situation when the situation was nothing to alchemize. But you know how to turn pain into power. You know how to turn destruction into construction. That's alchemy at its finest, man. That's alchemy at its finest. You came with an original ingredient, but you made something new out of some stuff. Like you got these three ingredients, you just made a whole new ingredient out of them three. Basically, what you did. All what they did was it really coronated you in the spirit, because the spirit seen you dig in your tool bag. You digged in your bag to get where you at, bro. You didn't just sit on your hands and wait for the situation to turn in your favor. No, you were turning the wheel. You were turning the wheel to where now the wheel has to turn in your favor, bro. Because if you would have just abided by the situation and did everything they wanted you to do, bro, you would be even more farther back than where you are now. So you had no choice, man. You had no choice but to go the new way. The divine kind of allowed that to happen so you can form a new way out of nothing. Because now that this path that you're on, they can't take it. Because you're not dealing with no crook. You're not dealing with nobody that can be compromised. They took everything. So now everything you get, they ain't gonna be able to take because it's coming from a divine place. They ain't gonna be able to take that. But yeah, they probably did take some stuff from you, bro. And they're gonna get karma for it. Don't worry. But it was just a test to see if you can be resourceful with nothing. That was just a test in itself. You know, can you be resourceful with nothing? Are you able to make it out the mud? Are you able to make that mud into an adobe house? Are you able to make that fecal matter that they throw at you to make an adobe house out of it? And you did. Are you able to make those dandelions into food? Are you able to take those dandelions and make fritters out of them, fried fritters? So it was just a big test, man. It was just a big test. That's what they gave us. They gave us a huge test. They gave us a huge test, and it was just, hey, you had to make water. You had to make water in the wine, man. You had to make water in the wine, and it is what it is. It wasn't there to break you though. It was there to make you. Even when I look back, I'm like, I don't even like talking about it because there's some crazy stuff, man. It is what it is. It's not like I got PTSD, but what's understood ain't got to be talked about. But I can assure you, man, that you had to be real strong, bro. You had to be real strong to go through that stuff, bro. If you weren't strong, you try to take yourself out. If you weren't that strong, yeah, you would try to take yourself out. Wasn't for the weak, because you literally have to. Even when you don't see a way out, you gotta know that this is just passing by. So it just took a lot. It took a lot for you to get strength out of nothing. You know, even when you did want to get up, you had to get up, bro. Even when you didn't want to walk that path, you had to get on that path, bro. It's like there's nothing else to do. They didn't destroy everything around you, but all that's left is that one path. So it's like you had no choice but to do this, man. It's like it was made for you. How the destruction was laid out, there was only one thing to walk towards, and that was that divine path that the great mother set up for us, bro. But other than that, there was no other way out. If you didn't go on that path, you probably be in the same spot you were, in the beginning. So you kind of had to take that path at the end of the day. There was no other way out. There was no other way out but in. So you went in, and now whatever comes your way, they can't block it, bro. Whatever comes your way, they won't be able to block it. They're already getting karma for what they did. Even though the divine used that situation to build you, this confirmation with that horn, people are still going to get karma for what they did. Just like how we get karma doing stuff. See, you the divine one. You the chosen one. Speaking to the select few out there, dude, they're going to get karma for what they did, bro. Trust me. Yeah, they're not. Well, nobody's getting up the hook for taking anything and over abusing their power, dealing with you because you are connected. So all those things that's connected to you is going to fight on your behalf for you to get justice. So don't worry about those people. Just know they're not off the hook. But this situation was only made for you to let that old life go and really see people for who they are. A lot of these people out here was bought. A lot of people can be bought from the enemy. That's what one of the big key lessons of this all is like, bro, you were around snakes, because a real person that's divine will never be able to be bought to go against their people. You literally had people around you that sold out just for your downfall, just to keep things a secret. So yeah, man, they just kind of had to show people who they really are, so you can change up your group, your circle. Because if you didn't know who these people really were, you probably still have them around. You'll try to, the divine bless you. Trying to bless these same people that will sell you out and watch you fall and not do nothing about it. Like, and they knew who did it, and they could give you a give you some pointers or whatever, assistance, whatever. So you kind of had to see these people for who they are, bro. So now you can walk that path with a less load, knowing who these people are, knowing how deep the game go. Yeah, this corruption, this wickedness, it went deep to where your whole environment was attached to it. And you were the pure one. But you just got to know how deep they went to break you. They did not want you to be here, bro. That's how crazy the rabbit hole go, to where they're going to neighbors. They're going to your old friends. They all up in your family. You got people in your family that never talk to each other. But when it come to you, they'll talk to try to figure something out. That's how deep the rabbit hole go, man. That's how deep the rabbit hole go. But you still here even stronger than before. And you're not even looking their way for nothing. They thought you were gonna run back asking for help. I'm like, nah, I'm not. We're not gonna do that, man. All I need is the great mother, bro. And I know the great mother don't play, and she give me what she does a lot of tough love, but she loves you at the end of the day. So it is what it is. But great mother don't play. But this when you are being guided with that, and you do what you got to do. It ain't always gonna be that type of tough love, but it's always gonna be there. If you know what I'm saying. Like she'll award you in some extravagant love, but sometimes she gotta hit you with that tough love so you can see what's inside of you, what's been reserved for this moment. So you can't really knock her for doing her ways because she got a certain way to do things. But you actively know she's there though because you know that heart. She's always in your heart. But yeah, she kind of had to bring it out of you so you know how strong you are because you never know what this journey might unfold. So you gotta have that strength in your reserve. You gotta know those intangibles that got you through this moment and got you through all that turbulent in between you were going through. So you kind of had to pull out those intangibles, man. You really did. You didn't you didn't know you had that. Yeah, I had some technical difficulties, but you just had to pull out. You had to pull out that hidden gift because having resilience is a gift, man. So many people give up when it comes to little things in life, bro. But you didn't give up on yourself when everything was telling you to crumble. It just shows you that you're not from this place, bro. You got something in you that is not in a lot of people. Because you may think, oh, it's just because you're strong. It's a little bit more than that, though. You just got to think. Even some of the strongest fell down, man. Even the most strongest people couldn't pick up that rock. It may took you a couple years to pick that rock up, but you still picked that rock up. You didn't give up. See, some people, that's like a strongman competition. There was a rock they couldn't pick up a few competitions, and they just give up in that year of them, going to the strongmans across the country, across the world. But you kept at it. You kept at it no matter what. You like, man, there's no other path for me, so I got to keep this path up. And that was the key right there, is to keep going even when the situation ain't in a favorable spot for you. You just got to keep going and alchemizing that situation, putting in that light in that darkness. You kept a certain light in a dark place, because you are a light being, but the things that they constructed around you was just dark, wicked. But you didn't let that be your end all be all, man. You didn't let that be your end all be all. So now you put all that light out there, it has to come back to you. It has to come back to you, man. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. You you had no choice but to be that light. So now, don't eat all that bread, nephew. Hey, nigga, I'm not gonna scare him away. That nigga always come down here because he know. That's why I'm like, I gotta give him something, man. I gotta get him something. Yeah, man, that's the great mother's animals. So if I can help those people out, I'll help them out. If you eat it all, you eat it all. Probably because you needed it. I'm not gonna scare that guy away. It's kind of like some punk stuff. That's some punk stuff. So I'm not gonna do him like that. But shout out to him though. He got what he needed and he dipped. He'll be back. But yeah, man, you had to be light and darkness. So I don't know how it works, but what goes around comes around. So it'll come back to you though. It'll come back to you, and nobody will be able to take it. Not even no wicked secret society, no government, nothing. What's for you will stay for you because now you're aligned and now you know what works and what doesn't work. You know what's for you and what's not for you. You know who's for you and who's not for you. They could not give you the world when you had wrong people around you because you will give the world to the wrong people and you'll put power in the wrong people's hands. So you really had to see people for who they are. You didn't see people for who they are, bro. You will be blessing the enemy. And great mother don't like that, man. I learned that. She'll block your blessings. You like your energy is a blessing. You know, so you can literally bless the wrong people with your energy. So you kind of had to they kind of had to isolate us so we can see how valuable you are, even with just you being by yourself. How valuable yourself is to you. How you always keep yourself in a composed state, or you always keep yourself in a high vibration, even in the midst of all this chaos and organized destruction and this organized smear campaign. You kept yourself in high spirits, regardless of what the situation was. That's a gift to have somebody that's able to change the atmosphere by just walking somewhere. That is a gift to have. Not everybody deserves that gift. And you can't just be around low vibrational people. You're blessing the wrong people. Even you ain't got to give them money or nothing. It's just your energy, your presence is a little too much for them. They don't deserve it. So the divine really had to strip you from everything so you can see, what's for you, what's not for you, who not for you, man. They wanted you to see a difference on how it is with you being by yourself and then how it is when you're around these type of people. So this stuff was honestly divinely orchestrated. This was honestly divinely orchestrated for you to see the truth on who you really are and who the people around you and who they really are. So now there's no going back to those people. There's no going back to those family members. There's no going back to those places because you brought too much value there and they didn't appreciate it, nor did they need that value. Their karma is for them to be blocked in those areas. You're going there, you're opening up paths for them that shouldn't be open. Your energy can open up doors for people. I notice when I'm around birds talk more. Here come this crazy ass fucking dog. I want that dog to get loose. But yeah. And yeah, I can fight dogs. I mean, that's like fighting a fucking bear, but not like a bear, but man, it's easier than fighting a bear. Dogs is not the problem. Cause once he bite, hey, once he bite, nigga, I can shake him up. But yeah, man. Um, the path is made for you to succeed, man. Because now you don't have no crazy people around you, bro. You don't have nobody crazy around you, bro. So now confirmation with that horn. Now you good. But this path that you alchemize, you open up doors that can't be opened from that old way of doing things, bro. Because your energy is at a point where you're opening up doors. So just stay patient. Don't give up. Just because you don't see the movement, trust me, you're moving. Trust me, you're moving things around by your decisions and your energy. Because now your energy is not in the presence of the enemy. Your energy is literally with yourself, and you're only doing things that will uplift you, not break you down. You're not being around people that's gonna bring you down. You're not being in places that's gonna bring you down. So your energy can only expand at that point. So just let your energy do the job. Let your presence do the job because you are a magnet. You are a magnet right now. You're just pulling things to you. That's why I always sit in that divine feminine energy, bro. Because I've been always in my divine masculine, a little too heavy since I was a younger man. Let me work. Don't give me work. I got things, but some past I forced. Was in jobs I shouldn't have been in. Was around people I shouldn't have been with. You know. So I understand that sometimes, man, you gotta know when is it time to receive and when is it time to press forward. You know, you just got to know the balance. Some people are good in the other spots because, like, some people can just manifest better. So that just means sometimes you got to sit in that divine feminine energy and let it receive. I don't look at it like these other people look at it. They look at it like divine feminine as you got to be a woman. Like, nah, that's not really what it is. We got divine masculine and divine feminine in us. Just operating that way, receiving and then stepping forth and then getting stuff done. There's two ways to do things, but there's a balance in the in between. Some people look at it like, oh my God, you're talking about women. It's not that. It's not that. It's an energy thing. It's an energy thing. You can have a man that's the energy, kind of just let things unfold, sit back, and when that path opens up, then he steps forward. You can have a woman that just is prominent in her divine masculine energy. She gets things done. That's just how the energy is. We really can't know what you are until you start walking that path and know what works for you and what doesn't. That's how you only know what type of energy you really reside in. It's not because you're a man. It's really not. You gotta it's spiritual. It's more spiritual than you think. So you gotta take it off. You gotta unlearn things because it's not that concrete as we think. It's more of an energy. So I call that spiritual. It's something that you gotta understand and experience rather than you just scientific understanding of it like, oh, you're a male, so you gotta be in that. It's deeper than that is what I'm saying. Definitely deeper. But yeah, you alchemize the situation to where they can't take nothing from you and they can't break you. Like I remember, like, man, I was in some wild situations, bro. But I just sat in the pocket and I alchemized. I'm like, I'm going to use this to build me up. I'm going to use this to test my patience with my environment. Because it was literally people that was trying to get me on edge and just get me to react crazy. So, try to make me fight them. But I use that situation to just show me how resilient and how peaceful I am within myself to where I'm not going to let nobody get me out of character. You know, just like the other day, somebody literally tried to throw a fucking, excuse my French, somebody literally tried to throw a cup at me, bro. I'm like, dude, you crazy, bro. You want me to be mad at you, bro? And you're driving so fast that you're not even going to let me confront you. I'm not going to get mad at that. I'm just going to let karma come at play because you messing with me, bro. You're going to get karma because I'm not out here messing with the innocent. I take down the wicked. You know me, man. I always take down evil, but I'm not out here messing with nobody. So you messing with me, that comes with a lot of problems. Just like that situation, I'm like, I'm not going to get mad at that guy. I'm just going to let that. I'm just going to let that unfold, and I bet you he get in the car wreck because you don't just come on my path and try to mess with me. No, you don't. You're going to get karma, bro. My ancestors don't play that, you know. And I remember in that crazy program that they had about a year ago, bro. It was messed up, bro. I was literally sent to be sacrificed there, bro. And I didn't get sacrificed. I literally used that program to build me up, bro. Let it build me up. But it was tough though. I'm not even gonna front. Now it wasn't hard, but it was just tough, bro, because you just had everybody going against you. They could come in your room. There's cameras in my room. When I leave, they go in my room and take stuff. There was really no privacy. They would knock on my door, you know, and they had a honey trap downstairs. So even if you know what I mean, and it was just crazy, bro. It's like goddamn, everywhere you look, it's like everything is against me because I remember that girl. She was a honey trap. I thought she wasn't a honey trap. I thought in the beginning, I didn't think she was a honey trap. But after I start to see her energy, I'm like, dude, she's a honey trap. She's a trap set up by the enemy. And I've seen it before, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I felt something, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There was probably the divine wanting me to see something so I can go through that experience. Because if I would have just kept her on the outside, I probably wouldn't have learned a lot about myself and who that person really was. So I think the divine kind of cloaked her energy for me not to see too much. But even though I peeped it a mile away, I definitely peeped it. But I'm kind of glad I kind of put my guard down to bring her in because now she got calmer. Now her life's not the same no more. You know, now everything that she did is being, everything that she's done is being judged on a higher perspective to where it's ultimately going to be her downfall because she's a con artist. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I always forgive my enemies, but just know I don't like you now. But I will forgive you, meaning like I'm going to save space for me to focus on other things. I'm not going to care about what's going on in your life because I know karma don't miss when you deal with me. So I kind of just let it unfold how it unfolds without having no grudges. But I still have that divine wrath for injustices done on my part or the innocent. So that wrath is going to be there for a correction to be made. But I'm not going to be out here, you know, just being mad at the world. But that wrath within my being will always be present for injustices done on myself and for my divine ones and for the innocent. But just that situation in itself, I alchemized it. They threw me in the pit, and I have keys to the pit. That's what messed their head up. When they knew they couldn't sacrifice me, they shut the program down. But that girl still didn't. That girl though, I will say, she's still trying to figure out a way in. That's how crazy she is. But I understand though because that's like, yo, I was your meal ticket. I was your meal ticket. I was that thing that was giving you blessings, and you don't have that anymore. And you have a lifestyle to keep up. So I understand where she coming, but she's wicked. So she's not a good person. So I will never entertain you again. You know. I understand where she coming from. I understand where she coming from, but she not right. So it's like I understand though. You will never get nobody like that again. So I kind of understand what she's doing, but it just won't. It won't be the same how it was. She just got to come to terms like, yo, I'm never gonna be that for you. You know, I'm never gonna be that person that was for you because you're not right. Hopefully she learns. Hopefully she learns. If she learns, she learns and she moves on. But I don't know, man. She's crazy, bro. She's crazy. At the end of the day, yeah, she's a little crazy. I don't see her changing because it's just she's so crazy, bro. She's so goddamn crazy. You can look at it in her eyes. I'm like, yo, you're crazy, woman. I'm like, yo, I dodged a bullet messing with you. But I alchemized the situation, man. I actually kind of glad everything happened the way it did. It just showed me like, yo, man, you don't need nobody. You don't need nobody, bro. Especially somebody that's not good. You know, it just showed me like, yo, this person is just there to hold you back, brother. You don't need him. So I had to snip him out of my life. And just this family, I'm like, yo, your family is the most wicked people in the town. They literally, I know that, let's just say the ranking. The Rogans, the Johnsons, they got to rank as some of the top wickedest people in this town. And that's crazy. You don't want no award ranking how wicked you are, but they're up there, bro. In the lineages that are subsidiaries, like you still a Peyton, you still a Johnson, still a Linwood, you know, that family tree is really wicked. I had to see that for what it is. I'm like, dude, I'm kind of glad my family. I'm kind of glad my family did that. I'm kind of glad my family tampered with my family connections, the people I was cool with, because I couldn't be around those people. Period. Not even the ones I was cool with. No, that place is real bad. There's just no fruit going at those people. Like those people are not good people. So I understood, like, yo, man, let's just burn that bridge permanently. I didn't understand it, but now I get it. Those people are not good to even have a conversation with. Not a mama, not a brother, not a grandma, because it's a parasitic net. And you don't want to be attached to no parasitic net. You don't want nobody able to have an access. You don't want nobody to be able to have access to you. So I understand. I literally understand it. Now they have no access to me. They can see me on my on here, but you don't have access to me. I'm not talking to y'all. Yeah, the other day I talked to my cousin. He pulled up on me and it was weird. So I kind of, it was just a weird situation. But even him, man, I just don't trust that guy. I just don't. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't trust nobody that knows my brothers, that knows my family, that's connected to him. Even my family. It's just because there was so much crazy things that happened, and if I know about it and nobody told me, and y'all in the loop, you telling me that you don't know about it? Come on, that don't even make sense. So I don't want to deal with nobody that was a part of the plan or that knew about the plan. I just feel like that's bad luck for me, man, to be around that type of energy. You don't have my best interests at heart. But all that, I was able to alchemize something. Like, dude, it made me this or a super resilient soldier. It made me into a super soldier. What Unc wanted to be a super nigga. That's what Unc dreamed to be. I am that super nigga. That's what it showed me. I'm a super nigga. I remember Unc was talking about he wanted to be a super nigga. Nigga, I am a super nigga. All this stuff, this man, I shouldn't even be here if it was up to these people. If it was up to these people, I shouldn't even be here, bro. But I'm here stronger than ever. 10 toes. I'm in this month 10 toes stronger than ever. So it's like, everything happened for a reason, bro. It just shows you didn't need those people in your life that were holding you back. That's what that showed me. Like, dude, you had so many people around you that was holding you back, bro. But this stuff had to happen, man, because you were beginning to lose good years of your life, but you got all your good years back. But the path you were going, you're going to lose all those good years being around people that shouldn't even be around you. The divine was not going to allow you to lose your best years on a path on around people that never deserve to be around you in the first place. So I can understand that. I can understand how it unfolded, bro, because it makes sense. It makes sense, bro. Everything had to happen the way it did. And you didn't, and that's what it comes to that alchemy. It's like because you see it from a broader view. Because you can look at it at one time, like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, these connections. But when you start to see real deep on who you are, you're like, wait a minute, man, I have light. A lot of these people don't have light out here, bro. A lot of these people are dark. And you're around darkness. Why are you feeding light to people that are dark? They're not doing nothing to be in the light. They're just feeding off your they're just feeding off your light and doing more dark stuff. Then you're fueling them. It just doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, yeah, you're feeding the devil. And I'm not trying to feed the devil, bro. I'm trying to beat the devil. I'm not trying to feed the devil. I'm trying to beat the devil. We over here feeding the devil. We kind of had to see it for what it was, bro. Yeah, we had to see it for what it was, and that path was holding us back. Them people was holding us back, bro. But you had to alchemize it and see it from that angle, because if you didn't utilize alchemy, I don't think you would see it for what it was, bro. You wouldn't have a bird's eye view on what it really was. So, but now that you see, they can't tell you nothing to try to get you back. Confirmation with that popping up. They can't tell you nothing, bro. They can't tell you nothing. They can't tell you nothing. They can't tell you nothing, bro. It is what it is. It happened how it happened because it was supposed to happen that way. Now you're stronger than ever. Now you don't have nobody, no dead weight around you. And now you're just sitting in your energy, sitting in your power. And these doors that open up, you're not supposed to bring in people that was not for you in these doors. You got to walk that path alone. You're going to have to walk through those doors alone. If you know what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm saying. So don't try to tag along people that ain't supposed to be there. So walk that path alone. And then the people that come, they're going to be for you because the divine done sending you these karmics. You passed your test. You kept the karmics out of your life. Even the karmics on the outside that you don't know, you were tested to keep those people far away from you too. And you passed those tests. So now, when this path opens up, you're not going to get those type of people to come because you healed from those situations. You healed from that. So you can't keep attracting the same thing if you can achieve by pushing it away from you. Now you know. It's not going to keep coming and coming and coming. Once you pass the test, you're good. So now just, when that path opens up, don't try to take nobody with you. I love the birds, bro. I want to get a crow. They said you can't get crows. Oh, you can't get crows. Well, probably not in America. Like, man, get out of America, man. And a lot of rules don't abide by you when it comes to the animals. Just remember that. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they tell you can't talk to dolphins. They say you can't have crows as pets. I'm like, bro, but y'all breaking your own rules. You said you can't have drugs, but y'all in here bringing the drugs in, so y'all don't even go off your own goddamn rules. So why should we go off of rules that shouldn't even be a rule in the first place? Some rules are meant to be broken. But yeah, man, you alchemize that situation, and now you're going to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to see why that path was for you. You're going to see why you had to leave those people alone. You're going to see why you have to walk in that door alone. You're going to have to see it for what it is. No hiding. But I believe that's about it. I think we talked about confirmation. That's about it. We talked about what we needed to talk about. That's your boy. I am out. Peace. If you want to send a cash donation to your boy, it's just EG Fiscal 1 on Cash App. It's all lowercase with the 1 at the end. The spelling for that is EJJIFISKER1. EG Fiscal 1. I got Patreon, patreon.com/Shaman Truth. Shaman Truth. That's one word. You put patreon.com, then you put the slash there, then you say Shaman Truths with the S at the end. One word. Music, E.G. Fisker. If you want to check my music out, E.G. EJJI space FISKER. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, iTunes, Apple Music, Boom Play, Dizzler, whatever the fuck these other streaming apps are. I'm everywhere. If you're in the UK and there's a platform for you, I'm on there. If you're in America and there's a platform you use, I'm on there. E.G. Fiscal. But that's about it. I'm out. Peace.